Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah.
Nice to see you all.
I think we're still waiting a few.
Yeah.
Claire, there is one elderly lady who said she'd like to join,
Yeah.
but she doesn't do Zoom.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I'll have to send you her telephone number or something. Unless, I mean, I have sent her the link. It's possible she may discover that she can do it, but she didn't seem very confident about it. So we shall see.
Okay. I mean, I'm recording the meeting, so I don't know whether she'd be able to, click on the link and watch it back.
But she might well be able to do that, even if someone went around to show her how to do it, which I could possibly do.
Okay.
And also there's another lady who contacted me this morning saying she hasn't had any information. Turns out I didn't have her details. I didn't know she was interested. Message hadn't got through to me. So I've just sent her a very hasty text. But as it's being recorded, then anyone who isn't here can join in with that.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay. And we will also, I'll print out the slides from the little presentation I've got as well. So you know, whenever any volunteers come in, they've got that there as a paper copy as well. Just
that's perfect. Thank you. I think I think also I've had them. I can't remember her name. Send me the details of the DBS forms that need to be filled in.
Karen. Yeah.
Karen, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I asked her if she could ask you to mention it this morning so that people know what they need to do.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. So have you forwarded that form to everybody?
I haven't yet. I can do so if you'd like. But I was going to wait until after you've mentioned it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I can send the form now if you like.
Send it after the meeting, that's fine.
Okay.
Because I think I've got a copy on my screen if my screen sharing works. Fingers crossed.
Okay.
Okay, do you know who is joining us? And
right. Let me just have a look at my list, which I've got here. Yeah, there's a few not here yet.
It's not quite past, is it? So we'll hang on.
Okay. Let me tick who we've got. Okay, I'm going to call a register. Have we got Iris?
Present.
Jenny Crutchfield?
Yes, I'm here.
Lovely. Emily said she might not make it. Lynn Goward? No, not yet. June and Malcolm? No. Jill Heaton?
Yes, miss.
Yeah, you're there. Christine Henderson?
Yes.
Was that a yes?
Yes, sorry.
And David?
Yes, I'm here as well.
Wonderful. Jackie Johnson?
Present, miss.
Lovely. Dave and Anne, I've seen you. Wonderful.
Here we are.
Mick and Thelma?
Hi.
Yeah, present.
Wonderful. Barbara Roberts? And Barbara Rouse? Steve Rouse? Anne Rutherford?
Yes.
Seen Anne. Rod and Penelope?
Yeah.
Ooh, wonderful. Tina Smith?
She's muted.
Oh, right. Okay, but she's there. Wonderful.
I'm here.
Wonderful. Sue Steen? Not yet. Wendy Sutton, I've seen.
Yes. Sandy?
Heather Wild?
Can I go to the toilet?
It's on in a break time.
Okay,
You should have gone. You should have gone before you came.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Joy Withers? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So there's a few. June's here. Wonderful.
Sarah,
Yeah.
this is Pat Marsh, but
Oh, wonderful.
I don't know how to go on from here.
That's fine. You're here. That's what you need to do. Yeah, that's all you need to do at the moment, Pat.
Thank you, dear.
Right, Barbara's here. Okay. Barbara and Steve Rouse, are they here yet?
Yeah.
We're here. Hello.
Wonderful.
Good morning.
June's here. Wonderful.
Oh, there's someone else just coming in now.
Oh, Emily, wonderful. Is Lynn Goward here yet? Did I
Yes.
see her? Wonderful. Okay, Sue Steen and Sandy. And Joy. Okay. Right, it seems to be most.
Okay. Do you want to hang on or shall we make a start?
Make a start. I can send the recording to everybody, can't I?
Yeah.
I could send it to
that's
everybody
fine.
so
Yeah.
people can have a recap if they want.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I'll just keep my eye on the waiting room just in case they turn up. So hello everyone, it's lovely to see you all. Thank you so much for logging on this morning for this. It's just going to be a short little training session just to go through a few things. Unfortunately, my Zoom account is a limited account, so I do only get 40 minutes. So I do apologise, but when we get near to the end and I can see it's counting down, I'll give you a warning. So just a bit of kind of...
Sorry, Claire.
Yeah.
I think actually you could hand hosting over to me, which might... Oh no, because I'm not on the church account. Don't worry, no, that won't work.
I'm not sure if sometimes you can log back in, can't you? If you click on the link again and come back in. But hopefully, I don't think we shouldn't need more than half an hour, to be honest. So fingers crossed, we'll get through everything. So it's best if you all stay on mute while I'm presenting. It's just a bit easier because sometimes you get background noise. So if you wiggle your mouse, it should come up with some options at the bottom, and there should be a mute button there which you can click on. And then if you have any questions or anything, it's probably easier if you just wave at me as we go through, and then unmute yourself. Oh, here's Sandy now, I think. Just unmute yourself and just ask your question as we go through. So please feel free to interrupt me as we go through. It's probably easier than saving everything till the end, okay? So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Claire Collins. I'm the assistant head for infants here at the school. And I also work in Oak class in reception with our youngest children, which is actually a real blessing. I love it. So you'll see me around, but when you come in to do the hearing readers, it's actually year 1 that we'd like you to work with. So they're our next year group up. So they are 5 and 6-year-olds. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is have a go at presenting my screen. This is where it gets a bit techie and I cross my fingers and hope it's going to work. So I'm just going to press a button and hopefully share screen. Let's see if this works. And then you can tell me, can you see something on the screen that says St Margaret's School Training for Reading Volunteers?
Yes.
Don't just give me a thumbs up if you can. Brilliant. That's good. Yay, I've remembered how to do it. Okay, so this should go to full screen now. There we go. So I can't see everyone anymore. I can only see a few of you actually. So me saying about, let me just see if I can. Yeah, me saying about raising your hand might be a bit tricky because I can't see everyone while I'm presenting. Okay, so if you do want to ask a question, just unmute yourself and interrupt me. That's probably the easiest thing. Okay. And I do apologise because this really isn't the way that we like to do things, is it? This COVID is a nightmare. It'd be much nicer to see you all in person. Anyway, right, let's go through. So the first thing to say is thank you, because without you, we couldn't have such a super impact with the children. So thank you for giving up your time to come and help with hearing children read at the school. It's such an important thing, and the more children can read with somebody, the faster they progress. These children in year 1, some of them have had 2 terms out of school during lockdown, so they've missed effectively 2/3 of a whole school year, which is a lot. And some of them have had great support at home, but others haven't. So there are children that have spent, quite a lot of time actually not reading at all. So we've got a lot of catching up to do. So we are absolutely so appreciative of you volunteering to help these children to catch up with their reading. So massive, massive thank yous to you all. So the first thing to mention is phonics, which you might have heard this word phonics. It's not how we used to teach reading. We used to teach reading by learning words by sight. So you just build up a bank of words. Now we teach reading by phonics. So this is children learning to read by matching letters to the sounds. So when they first start doing this, they learn the single letter sounds. So they will learn that when you look at the letter S, it makes the sound S, and they'll learn like that. And then once they've learned all the alphabet single letter sounds, we then go on to 2-letter sounds. So I put there like AI makes the sound A, like in the word train. So this means that when you're reading with a child, they will be trying to sound out words that they don't know. So when they're sounding out, you'll hear them, like in the word cat, they might go k, at, and they need to repeat that until they can get faster and then push it together. So eventually they're going k, at, cat, and they'll get it, and there'll be a spark of light there, and you think, yes, great. Sometimes they won't get it, and you'll just need to remind them to sound it out. So that's a good thing to say to them if they're stuck. Have a go at sounding it out. When they become more fluent readers, they might not need to sound out every word, and they might just be able to read them on sight, which is great too. So what's
Can
really
I interrupt? I'm really sorry, but it's a very
please
quick
do.
question just to say, are we going to get this that you are going through? Are we able to keep it afterwards?
Of course, yeah. If I email it to Sarah, and then she can send it all to you. Yeah, would you like to do
Is
that?
that all right? That'd
Yeah,
be brilliant. Thank you.
That's
Lovely.
absolutely fine. And we'll have
Sorry
a
to interrupt.
paper copy as well for when you come in. We'll just have it in the
Okay.
folder as well. So
Thank you. Sorry to
okay.
interrupt.
No, that's fine. No, please do. So the important thing with the phonics is that we say the sounds correctly for the children. And I'm not trying to get too technical here with you, but it's just what we need to do is not put this sound on the ends of sounds that we used to do. So we don't say n and k and b. They're shorter sounds. They're b, k, Some of you might have already come across this, but what I've got here is a video for us to watch. It's only just over 3 minutes, so I thought it'd be quite helpful just to have a listen to how the sounds are pronounced. And actually, if Sarah's sending this to you, then you should be able to click on the link yourself, okay? But let me just go to it and let's see, fingers crossed, it will work. Sarah, I can see you on my screen, so can you just give me a thumbs up that you can hear? Can you hear the sound on that video? You can't. Okay. Right. What I might have to do is I might have to just send you that link because I'm not quite sure. I've had this problem before when you're screen sharing.
Claire, you need to share your sound at the same time. It's an option.
Oh, thank you. Right. How do I do that? Oh, there we go. I can see it. Oh, great that we've got someone techie on here. Thank you. Right, let's try it again.
Groups of letters by saying the sounds they represent.
Do it now.
So they are taught that the letter M sounds like when we say it. When teaching synthetic phonics, it's really important to say the sounds correctly. You must not add an at the end of a sound. So you should say not m, and all, not la. This makes it much easier for a child to blend the sounds together to make words. There are 26 letters in the alphabet, but 44 sounds in the English language. This means that some sounds are made using pairs of letters. These letter pairs are called digraphs. When 3 letters are used to make a single sound, it is known as a trigraph.
Sh. A. E. I. O. U. R. O. Ow. Oi. Ear. Air. U. A. Ow. I. E. Oi. U. U. O. W. U. U. O. E. A. E. I. O. U. R. E. I. O. U. O. E. F. U. If. J. A.
Once they have learned to say the sounds correctly, your child can then start to read words by blending the sounds together to make a word.
Okay, right, let's go back. So I'm not trying to overwhelm you with that, and I know there was a lot in that video in terms of all the sounds, but it's just particularly the first set of sounds, it's just really important to help them with those, but I'm not expecting you to go in and remember all those sounds. That's a lot of training and hard work to do that, but it's just an awareness that that's how we pronounce the sounds, and if you just remember that thing, try not to do the on the sounds, it just really helps them when they're trying to blend the sounds to read. Is everyone happy with that? Brilliant. Okay, thank you. Let's go on to what we call the common and tricky words. So it's just worth noting when you're hearing children read that not every word can be sounded out. So in each, these are phases that the children learn in, so don't worry too much that it says phase 2, phase 3, but it's just the progression of how they learn these tricky words. But these are words that we do teach them to read on site. So if they come across these kinds of words, and they might try and sound it out, and you can see it's not going to work saying the sounds, you can just say, oh, we need to learn this word, and just give it to them and just say, oh, that's the or to, because they've just got to remember that word. Okay, so just some pointers about when hearing a child read then. So the first thing, when you come in to help with reading, if you just check with the class teacher each time who needs to read, they'll give you a class sheet with the names on, and you can just tick off when you've heard a child read. When they're reading, it's good if they can hold the book and point to the words to track the text. And these children, because they're quite young, quite a lot of them are not good at that. So their eyes start going off all over the place, and they're not actually looking at the words on the page. So it's really good to just remind them to get their finger and actually put it on the word and track the text. If they're really not, they're struggling with that, you might need to do it for them and point to the words, but it is good if they can do it. It's good to start by looking at the front cover and talking about that first, asking them what the book's about or what they think it's about. As we said, if they get a bit stuck, you can say the sounds for them, see if they can blend them, or say to them, oh, say the sounds. So I'm just you can ask them if they can say the sounds back to you, and you might need to push them together for them. So they might be able to go k, at, but they might not be able to then say the cat bit. So just say it back to them, and that helps them then to learn that blending. You could say to them to look at pictures for clues as to what the word says. And sometimes, you know, when you hear a child read, they can be really slow at working out the whole sentence. And by the time they've got to the end of the sentence, they've forgotten what on earth they've been reading about because it's taken so long. So it is helpful if they've done that for you to just reread the sentence back to them. That's a really helpful thing to do. Talk about the pictures with them and what's happening. And a lot of our books have questions on the inside covers and on the back as well. So you can have a look at those and they'll give you ideas of things you can ask the children before, during and after reading. And if at the end or during the reading you think, oh, this child's really struggling with this book, or they're whizzing through, it's really easy, then if you wouldn't mind just mentioning that to the class teacher, that's really helpful for us. We've got big classes, so it's not always easy to keep track of where everyone is, and it might be that child needs an easier book or a harder book. But what we do ask is that the teacher makes that decision to move them on to the next level. But if you can just mention it to them, that'd be great. Okay, so reading diaries. Every child has this reading diary that goes to and from school, and they have a book bag as well. So their book and reading diary should be in their book bag. So when you hear them read, they should go and get their book bag, bring it to you, and then if you ask them to get their diary out, and then if you wouldn't mind just popping the date in, the title, and a brief positive comment. It can just be super reading, lovely reading, smiley face, something like that. Or if you want to write a bit more, it's nice to hear what the children have said. So I've just put an example there, that they might say something like, oh, I love this book because I remember when I went to the farm. And that's a nice thing to write down to know that they've said. Or it might be that, you know, they could read most of the words by themselves, or they did really good sounding out. So I've just put some ideas there, but, you know, again, anything is lovely to have in their reading diary, just to show a record that they've been reading with you. And if the child has read the book at home as well, so you'll see the title will be in there already, then they can change their book, and they've got boxes of books in the classroom and they know which box they can choose from. So if they finish the book with you, you can tell them to go and change their book. Okay, some other things to note. So if a child's behaviour starts to become a bit challenging, or they're not very focused, then don't hesitate to stop and speak to the class teacher or teaching assistant. I'm not going to pretend that all our children are perfectly behaved, because they're not. So yeah, if it's not going well and you think I'm on a losing battle here, then do stop and just, you know, mention to the teacher. And if there's any behaviour incidents, or there might be someone trips over near you and cuts their knee or something, or someone comes out the toilet and says, I've had a wet accident, which does happen, just refer all those things to the class teacher. Don't, you know, as much as you probably want to help the children, it's best to refer it to the teacher or the teaching assistant, because then they can just follow all our policies and procedures of how we deal with those incidents. I have just put in this thing about don't put yourself in a position where you're alone with a child behind a closed door. That's just standard practice for anyone working in the school. Just make sure the door's open if you are in a room. In the Year 1 classrooms, they've got a room in between the classrooms, and it's all glass doors and everything, so that's absolutely fine. But that's to protect you more than anything. So the other thing is to remember that we keep confidentiality in school. So please don't discuss children or reading abilities or any incidents that you witness or comments that you might hear outside of school. And just to add to that, if you do hear anything that concerns you, and it might be conversations between staff, but it might be between children, anything that worries you, then do speak to the class teacher. Or you can speak to someone from the leadership team, so myself, or I've said Mike there, the head teacher, or Mary's the deputy head, and Leela is our special needs coordinator. So you could speak to any of us if you need to, if you're concerned about anything. And just a final thing, because of COVID, I just wanted to put in there, because, you know, I appreciate you're coming in and you may feel concerned about this. So if you would prefer to wear a mask when you come in to read, that's absolutely fine. We don't wear masks with the children as staff in school normally, but we do at the end of the day and the start of the day when we see them to their parents and collect from their parents. So they are used to seeing adults wearing masks, and it's quite commonplace now anyway. So if you would prefer to wear a mask, that's absolutely fine. When you arrive in the office, we just ask that you wash your hands, gel your hands on arrival. You do need to sign in as well, so we know who's on our premises. When you're with the child, you can position yours and the child's chair with as much distance as you're comfortable with, and obviously as practicable, because it's quite tricky being able to see the book. Yeah, that's a tricky one. And just try and be in a well ventilated area. So as I said, I think we're going to use the room in between the two Year 1 classrooms. So that is an internal room, but if the doors are open and our exit doors are open in the classrooms, there's good ventilation going there. And in the warmer, sunnier weather, it needs to warm up a little bit, doesn't it, at the moment? We've also got space outside. So there's some nice places in our outside area in Year 1 that you might be asked to use. Toilets are located in, as you walk down from the office, when you come in we'll show you, but you walk down towards the Year 1 classrooms and there's actually male and female toilets on the right, just past the head teacher's office. So if you use those ones, because we've allocated our staff toilets to different year groups and things, just to try and make it as COVID as safe as possible. And I know this is an obvious one, but I do need to say it, but please don't come into school if you're feeling at all unwell or have any symptoms of COVID. And I think that's it. I've just put my email there for you if you want to note that down, ccollins@stmargaretsprimary.org.uk. And then if anything does crop up that you're not sure about, or it doesn't matter if it's any question, just drop me an email and I'll happily answer it. But I appreciate that was quite a whistle-stop tour and I've talked a lot. I'm just trying to get through it in the time. So shall we have, I think we have got a bit of time left for some questions. So if I stop sharing my screen and we go back. Oh, I can see everybody now. Wonderful. You're all still here. You could have left, you see, and I wouldn't have known. Could have been talking to myself the whole time. Okay, so should we have some questions? If anyone's got any questions.
Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Oh, good. Just want to know how... Sorry, it's a call from Sierra Leone. When do we know when we turn up, or how long, and
so
do we just turn up on a Monday morning? Or?
Right, so I wasn't sure what Mike had talked about with Sarah. So Sarah, do you know a little bit more about times and days?
I don't know much yet. All I've done is sent to Mike a list of, basically what I've done is I put together a list of names, and alongside those names, details of a person's availability. You know, they might be available on a Monday afternoon and a Wednesday afternoon. That might be what they might be offering one or other of those days.
Yeah.
With regard to timetabling it, I'm assuming that's coming from the school. I don't know.
Okay, so what I'll do, because unfortunately Mike's a bit poorly at the moment, so he's not in this week. So perhaps, could you send me that list, Sarah?
Yeah, I can, because I've also got 2 more names from this morning. I found out 2 people inquired and their names hadn't come through to me. So I've got to add them to the list and find out what they can do as well. So yes, I can send you that information. Yeah,
so if you send that to me, and then if I have a chat with the Year 1 teachers in terms of times, I mean, I think, to be quite honest, we're happy to go with whatever time usually, because you're the ones volunteering, so we appreciate, whatever time suits you is best. But yeah, so if I have a look at that then, and then shall I work out a kind of timetable thing of who and when, and then send that back to you.
I think when Mike originally asked, he did say, I think, between 1:15 and 3:15. Would that sound about right?
Yeah, yeah.
But whether if people could, if it's flexible, then people might be, that might be better for some people, because I know some people do work and they'd have to fit it around their work time as well.
Course, yeah.
So if it can be flexible, I'm sure people would appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Claire, would it help if we emailed you when we're available?
Yeah, if that works, if that's easier.
Yeah, send it to me and then I can add it to my little list,
right,
Rodney, and then I can put it all in one chart and send it to Claire.
Yeah.
For example, we said Mondays, but there's one Monday we can't do it. We'd like a different day that week.
That's fine.
Right.
I think that's absolutely fine, because what you can do is just say to the teacher the week before, oh, I can't make next Monday, if you want to do it like that. Or you can just email me if there's, you know, if you said a certain day and then actually one week you can't do. You know, we do expect that, and I appreciate that, you know, you are giving up your valuable time. So yeah, just let us know as we go along if that's easiest. Just to mention the DBS checking. So everybody needs to have a DBS check to come into school. So when you come in for your first volunteering session, we will ask you just to go to the office for a little bit to sit with our secretary called Karen, and she will go through doing the DBS check online. So Sarah has got a sheet of information that tells you what you need to bring for that. As we're a bit short on time, I'm not going to go through it all because I'm not an expert on it anyway, and it's all on the sheet and it tells you which, because you have to bring some identification with you. So Sarah, if you're happy to forward that to everybody.
Yeah, I can do that.
If you can't, you don't need to print off the sheet, it's just for your information so you know what to bring. But if you're still unsure, don't worry, on your first visit into school, we can just talk you through that, and then you can bring what you need to in the following week. That's fine.
So can I just clarify, they haven't actually got to fill in a form of any sort on their own at home. They just come get the information from what I send them.
Yes.
They bring the required information into school and it's all done at school.
Yes,
wonderful.
yes. So the sheet that you're going to send to everyone just tells you the type of identification you need to bring in to show your identity and your proof of address and things. And then it's all done on the computer. So you sit with Karen for, I think it takes about 5-10 minutes, and it's all done online and sent off, and then it comes back. And we can have people in school working without a DBS check as long as they're not left on their own with a child. That's the policy. So the way we're running this whole thing, that's fine anyway, because you will be in a shared area.
And Claire, if we've got a DBS from our work or somewhere else, can we just bring evidence of that in?
I think you have to have one for every place that you work at. So you'd still need to do another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, can we check on that? Because I understood if we've got DBS and it's online and you keep your subscription going, that is sufficient for everybody to check on. You don't need one for every place you work.
Will Karen be able to check that for us?
I'll double check it, but I am pretty sure that when it comes to working in schools, even if teachers change schools, we have to get a new DBS.
Okay, fine.
But I will double check that because things change all the time. So yeah, that's fine. Okay,
thanks.
Is that Heather?
Yeah,
Chris, Heather, yeah.
Heather, sorry, can I just ask, we were in France up until 2 years ago. So does that go back long enough, January 2019?
Have a look at the form that Sarah sent. As I say, I'm not an expert on all the details of the DBS checks. I'm not involved in the process. So have a read what Sarah sends you. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine.
Wendy?
Please, could we have adult-sized chairs?
Yes, of course. Yes, we will do that. Absolutely. It's a very good point.
It's a good point. Yeah.
Okay, now I can see it's telling me I've got 3 minutes and 3.5 minutes left. So has anybody else got any pressing questions? Anne.
Oh, Anne, you're muted, Anne. Right.
Sorry,
There we
Anne.
are.
Okay.
So, when are you hoping we may start?
I think Mike was hoping next week, but I wasn't sure how far he'd got with dates and times. So I think if Sarah sends me that today, I'll try and sort that out by the end of the day. And if I send that back to you, Sarah, is that okay that you then contact everybody?
Yeah.
And if you can't start next week, so I'll just do it as a day and a time to come in. And if you can't start next week, that's absolutely fine. You can just drop me an email and say, oh, I can't start until this week. So
Thank you.
okay, thanks.
Could I just ask about parking?
Yes,
My car.
Yes, so come into our car park, and we've got a big car park, so you can park
And there will
there.
be space.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Great.
And if you do have difficulty walking, then you can park right in close to the school office. That's fine during the day. It's just at the pickup times that we can't have cars in our closest car park area.
The office and checking.
Okay, well, can I just thank you all again? It's really lovely of you to spend time this morning to come and listen to me waffle on, and I hope it was useful. And as I say, if you do have any other questions, please feel free to just drop me an email, or you can go via Sarah and she'll pass that on to me. Sarah,
Yeah,
did you just want to say something?
Yeah, that's what I was going to check. Do you want correspondence of queries to come via me or direct to you? It seems more sensible to me to go direct to you.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Contact with you.
Yeah,
because otherwise I'm just becoming a middleman.
Yes, absolutely.
And then I won't know the answers.
No. I mean, I think if you're happy to email and you're confident to email, then just email me direct. That's absolutely fine. But if it's by word of mouth, you might see Sarah and say, oh,
Yeah.
you know, that's fine. Then Sarah can contact me if you need to do it by speaking to her on the phone or something like that. So, yeah, but thank you ever so much. And we look forward to seeing you coming into school. And I know the children will love having you coming in. They love having people coming in to hear them read. So, and I hope
I'm glad they liked it. That's good. I'm glad that they like it. Just I didn't know how popular we were going to be.
Oh, I think with the young children, they love having visitors in, and you know, I hope you'll gain a lot from it as well. I'm sure, because they are delightful. They really are. So, so thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll hope to see you soon.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll be in touch there.
Okay, thanks, Sarah.
Okay.
Thanks, Sarah.
Bye, everyone.
Meet you all soon.
Am I right in thinking
Oh.
we're going to, oh, you're dealing with that?
No, tell me.
That we're going to get a folder with all those sounds in.
You're going to get the presentation, I think, aren't we?
Well,
So,
Yeah, we'll be sending, we can send information through.
I'll send that now, Sarah. I'll send that over to you. Okay.
That's great. Yeah. So I'll send information through.
Yeah.